खाली पानी मोटे दे दो ठीक नोट पड़ेगा ना चल बोल Good afternoon, welcome to Vanik-Ias. We'll discuss current affairs of 26th March. First is environment, that is related to environment topic. Subject is environment and topic is water security in India. Right? Water security. Just wait for 1 minute. Okay, so we'll start. That is water security. Recently, Center for Science and Environment (CSE) has started global warming and climate change. Has stated that global warming and climate change has the potential to water security in India at risk. Right? Center for Science and Environment. This has stated that global warming and climate change has potential to put water security in India at risk. So, what are the highlights? First is, see, climate change is, and at present climate change and global warming, these are biggest challenge to our existence, right? It has various repercussions that change various physical parameters and biological parameters of our environment. First is like increasing temperature. India is witnessing a repeat of 2021 conditions when temperature touched 40 degrees Celsius as early in February. touched 40 degrees Celsius as in February, right? That means even during the winter season, it's almost finish of close of winter season. At that time also we are witnessing a high temperature, that is around 40 degrees Celsius. Climate change impact. Climate change impact are about heat, increased and scorching temperatures, and about variable extreme rain. Increased and scorching temperature and variable and extreme rain. Right? Variable rain. Variable rain means in some regions we will see drought, and in some regions we will see heavy rainfall. Right? Extreme rainfall. That means we can consider that the number of rainy days are reducing, but the intensity of rain in a particular day or the total amount of rainfall in a particular day is increasing. And another thing is that the rainfall pattern changes because of climate change. Rainfall pattern, when we talk about rainfall pattern changes, it means in those areas, in some areas the amount of rainfall reduces, and in some areas the amount of rainfall increases, right? That is we call as changing of rainfall pattern. Another thing is that erratic rainfall. Erratic rainfall means rainfall timing also changes, right? Sometimes we see winter rainfalls, right? For example, during the crop harvest, winter rainfalls, unseasonal rains, they damage the agricultural products. Okay, so these are the impacts of climate change. Both have direct relationship with water cycle. So by this shows that change in the water cycle because of climate change, which is witnessed at present time. Okay, next. Okay, next issue is regarding La Nina, right? La Nina and El Nino, these are two processes. They are related to geography. We'll understand here how they are affecting our hydrological cycle, right? Or our rainfall. For example, here it is we are discussing La Nina, right? Its opposite is your El Nino. Its opposite is El Nino. First, what is this La Nina? In 2021 is the year of La Nina. The Pacific water currents are known to bring cooler temperatures globally, right? So we'll see in Pacific. Suppose this is India and this is Pacific Ocean, and here there will be cooler temperature, right? If this becomes cool, if temperature becomes reduced, right? Temperature reduced, then what will happen? Pressure will increase, right? When pressure will increase, airflow will start from will blow from higher pressure to lower pressure. Air will blow from higher pressure to lower pressure. So when temperature decreases, pressure increases, and air flows from high pressure to lower pressure. That is from Pacific region to Indian region, air flows, and because of that we see rainfall becomes more, right? But global warming has offset the cooling of La Nina. Offset the cooling of La Nina, yes. So it is a rainfall. So during the period of La Nina, we are expecting that there will be high rainfall. But the problem is global warming. Global warming has offset this effect of La Nina. That means the amount of rainfall that we are expected, it doesn't happen. Why it doesn't happen? Because of the global warming. situation is bound to be worse in El Nino condition. El Nino, during El Nino, what happens? Low rainfall occurs. Why low rainfall occurs? During El Nino, here warm current, that is here temperature increases. During the in the Pacific coast, temperature increases. When temperature increases, that means pressure decreases. Pressure decreases means some of the air will move towards the Pacific Ocean from Indian Ocean. That means our monsoon, which was earlier going from southwest monsoon to the continent, that will reduce. That will reduce rainfall. So even in both La Nina condition as well, we are not getting expected rainfall. That is because of your global warming. And another thing is that in case of El Nino also, we are receiving less rainfall. In El Nino, we will receive less rainfall in El Nino, but the situation become worse because of global warming. Then varying rain pattern. The number of rainy days in India will go further down, right? Rainfall pattern is changing, but extremely rainy days will increase, right? We have already said it. Then we have a huge respect for India's plan. This will have a huge impact on Indian plan for water management, right? As the number of rainy days are increasing or the pattern is changing, number of rainy days are decreasing or the pattern is changing, that will have a huge impact on India's plan for water management. Then India's water security. India faces a serious and persistent water crisis owing to growing imbalance of supply and demand, while poor water resources management and climate change. Right, we are suffering a problem of supply and demand. Many remote areas suffer the problem of suffer the problem of drinking water, and also in urban areas like Delhi or metropolitan cities, also you see there is scarcity of quality water. Right, so India is facing water crisis in many of its urban areas. In remote areas as well, there is problem of groundwater. India is projected to have severe water crisis by 2050. By 2050, it will face severe water crisis because we have 17% of population of 17% of population of world, but we have only 4% of resource of groundwater. So there is a gap of around 13%, right? 4% population of world, but we have a 7% population of world, but we have only 4% of groundwater. That's the big problem. There is a mismatch. That's why we are facing water scarcity. But because of growing industrialization, urbanization, and our personal water use, because of developed sanitation and various goods and products, right? For example, you have a car, then you will use huge amount of water and washing those cars, right? Because of various our lifestyles, increasing sanitation and urbanization, industrialization, this water usage is getting increasing, and in various goods and products industries, the water use is getting increased, and that lead to depletion of groundwater, right? Okay. Then what are the issues? Yeah, water uses in agriculture. Although industry is a large contributor of India's GDP, industry is the largest contributor to India's GDP, and what agriculture accounts around 90% of water use. Remember, agriculture accounts around 90% of water use. Right. That's another thing is one more problem is that in some states they have given free electricity. When free electricity happens, over irrigation of waters occurs. Right, over irrigation depletes the hampers the groundwater level. Right, so there should be, we can advise of sprinkler irrigation. We should change our agriculture pattern, or we can effectively by for example, what we say, precision agriculture. That means exactly we will give that much of water, we irrigate that much of water what is needed. That is precision agriculture. Sprinkler irrigation, we have a scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, to improve the irrigation system, right? Improve the irrigation system, so that will lead to maximizing the efficiency. That is, that means we will increase the number of irrigated areas, but we will not spend more water than required. That is what we said, efficient irrigations. Next, efficient water use. Inefficient water use. Although India is one of the world, yes, two-thirds of India irrigation needs 80% of domestic water need. Two-thirds of India's irrigation needs and 80% of domestic water need. That means using groundwater. So it is heavily dependent on groundwater because rainfall pattern is erratic, monsoon pattern is erratic, and we do not have any such infrastructure for rainwater harvesting. So neither we have that culture. So there is we are utilizing majorly the groundwater by various bore wells or wells. Then inefficient water use. Although India has one of the world's largest irrigation system, India has world's largest irrigation system characterized by high level of inefficient water use. We have large and high efficient inefficient water use. Declining water tables means increased cost of pumping. Increased cost of pumping, salty irrigation water as a result of over obstruction lead to crop revenue losses for farmers, long-term consequences for water availability. So various consequences happen because of lack of irrigation facilities, or that leads to crop and revenue loss. Right, crop loss happens because of the ground not availability of groundwater, because in some areas they extract the groundwater, right? Overuse of groundwater. Then poor access, lack of access, improved water supply, and adequate sanitation persist. According to the government census of 2011, only 30% of 167 million rural households have access to tap water, households, toilets. Lack of access to improved water supply, yes, and adequate sanitation. So most of the rural areas, they do not have adequate water supply and sanitation system, right? According to the government of 2000, only 30% of 161 households have been access to toilets, but now it has already increased around 90%. Now more than 90% of people are having a latrine, and tap water production is getting increased, supply is getting increased under the Jal Jeevan mission, right? So obviously as sanitation develops, increasing water uses also develops, right? Okay. Then declining water quality. The discharge of untreated sewage into water body is the most important source of water pollution in India. Okay, water pollution occurs. That is a big one of the biggest problem. Discharge of untreated sewage into water bodies. 80% of sewage generated goes untreated. 80% of sewage generated goes untreated. This is very severe. 80% of sewage um, generated goes untreated to various water bodies, and the pollute water bodies, that are groundwater and the water resources. The existing policy framework lacks clear incentive structure for efficient and sustainable water use. So do not have incentive structure for efficient and sustainable water use. Intra and interstate water sharing, lack of adequate enforcement and monitoring existing water policies undermine water governance. Adequate enforcement and monitoring of existing water policies undermine water governance. Low or absent water charging and energy subsidies for groundwater pumping drive severe depletion resources. Low or absent water charging, energy subsidies for groundwater pumping drive severe depletion of resources. Right? Energy subsidies. So when it becomes cheap, usage becomes increasing. Right? And especially in areas like Punjab and Haryana, over extraction of water increases. Right? That depletes the groundwater level. So then, in case of policy also, we should control this energy subsidy so far as irrigation is concerned. We may divert it to different, other formats of same fund. Intra and interstate sharing of water. So there are various problems as well with respect to intra and interstate sharing of water, monitoring existing water policies, right? So there is we need some changes in the water governance. Then finance for water infrastructure. A lack of sustainable financing for water infrastructure results poor in maintenance of existing infrastructure. Limits further investment. A lack of sustainable financing for water infrastructure results poor maintenance of existing infrastructure. Right. So there is no sustainable financing. That's why the existing infrastructure also deteriorates, and that limits the further investments. So you have to preserve the existing water infrastructure that present. Importance of water security in India. What is the importance? Why we need is total water demand is expected to rise by over 70% by 2025. Water demand will rise 70% by 2025. Huge demand supply gap is expected in the coming years because economic growth is increasing. So various new startups, new industries, new business models are coming. All of them need, and also agriculture is also increasing. So that so the problem is going to aggravate. Ensuring health. Poor water quality, lack of adequate access to sanitation are also major causes of disease and poor health. Proper access to potable water will minimize health issues and medical expenses. That's why we have a Jal Jeevan mission, right? See, sanitation causes around 40% of diseases. If sanitation problems can be solved, then we can avoid 40% of diseases that occurs. Especially the communicable diseases are transmitted via because of lack of sanitation. So and we know the vicious cycle of poverty. If health because and if disease occurs because of lack of sanitation, and what will happen? A poor person will go to medical, and there will be expenditure. Health expenditure will rise. If health expenditure will rise, obviously person will go in poverty. So this will induce poverty as well. Then supporting economy. Adequate water security will act as a potentially significant booster. Adequate water security will act as potentially significant booster on economic growth, and it will reduce the cost of water infrastructure. Right. If water availability is low, right, if water supply, water scarcity is there, then establishment of industry will also difficult, right? We have to ensure water availability in a particular area to bring investment or to establish an industry. So we have to preserve those water resources, and we must ensure that water is present in a particular area, right? Otherwise, industrial development will also hamper, and productivity will also hamper. Then, what are the challenges so far as water security is concerned? Increasing rate of evaporation. Increasing rate of evaporation. Right, our evaporation losses didn't happen in the past, but rate of evaporation will now increase with the soaring of temperature. Right, because temperature is increasing because of global warming, so evaporation also increasing. And increased uses, heat will drive up use of water for drinking, for irrigation, to fighting powers, forest and buildings. If heat increases, if global warming increases, temperature of air increases, that will induce more drinking of water, more uses of water by various coolers or in bathing water in every issue, right? And another, irrigation will increase because evaporation will be more, and fighting fires, that's a big problem. It occurs every year, and that causes huge loss of biodiversity. To counter such things, we need to use more and more water. So that increases the water uses. Then intense drought and flood cycles. Climate change already is showing up terms of increasing number of extreme rain events. Right, extreme rain events means huge rainfall or no rainfall in some areas. This means one can expect rain to become like a flood and making the cycle followed by droughts and even more intense. So this may induce droughts or flood, right? Both problems can be created by because of climate change, and such type of activities is witnessed in various parts of the country. Then land degradation. In a country like India, where bulk of the food is still grown in rain-fed regions, climate change is intensifying land degradation and dust bowl formation. Around half of our land is rain-fed, right? So if water scarcity are rain-fed region, so climate change will will intensify the land degradation, because if rainfall pattern changes, that will problem create land degradation or desertification, right? Desertification will increase. Then what are the steps taken? What are the steps taken by the government to ensure water availability to all the citizens and various industries? First is Jal Jeevan Mission. It envisions to provide safe and adequate drinking water through individual household tap connections by 2024 to all households of rural India. By 2024, all households of rural India will get adequate drinking water. Then Jal Shakti Abhiyan. It was launched by Jal Shakti Abhiyan in 2017, a time-bound campaign with a mission-mode approach intended to improve water availability, including groundwater condition, and water stress block of 256 districts in India. Right, Jal Shakti Abhiyan. It is launched in 2019. Time-bound campaign, mission-mode approach to improve water availability. Right, in groundwater in 256 districts of India, that is Jal Shakti Abhiyan. The National Water Policy 2012 have been formulated by the Department of Water Resources and GR, right? RD and GR inter alia advocates rainwater harvesting. It advocates National Water Policy. It advocates rainwater harvesting, conservation of water, and highlights the augmenting the availability of water through direct use of rainfall. So it especially enforces or try to advocate that is rainwater harvesting and conservation of water, right? And water and using water directly coming from rainfall. Then groundwater legislation. Ministry has also circulated a model bill to all states and union territories to enable them to enact suitable groundwater legislation for the regulation of the development, which also includes provision of rainwater harvesting. Right? It also includes provision of rainwater harvesting and how groundwater will be regulated in those states and UTs. That legislation has brought by the central government. Then Central Groundwater Authority. Central Groundwater Authority. This is constitution under section 3.3 and 3 of Environmental Protection Act 1986 for the purpose of regulation and control of groundwater development and management in the country. Central Groundwater Water Authority (CGWA). Okay, so it started in 1986, the Environmental Protection Act. Okay, then Master Plan for Artificial Recharge of Groundwater 2020. What is this Master Plan for Artificial Recharge of Groundwater? It has been prepared by CGWE, Center for Groundwater Resource and Center for Groundwater Authority. Groundwater body, right? Okay. In consultation with the states and union territories, which was micro level plan indicating various structures of different terrain conditions of the country, including estimated cost, how to recharge the groundwater, and they have discussed what are the estimated cost to revive the groundwater resources. National Water Awards. The Department of Water Resources, RD and GR, are instituted one National Water Awards to incentivize good practices in water conservation. Good practices in water conservation and groundwater recharge. Mass awareness program, training, seminars, workshops, exhibitions, trade fairs, painting competitions are conducted from time to time each year under the formation. Education and communication. Education each year, information, education and communication scheme of DOWR. RD and GR in various parts of the country to promote rainwater harvesting, artificial recharge of groundwater. So mass awareness programs are also conducted for the individual, so that how can we efficiently practice such practices that will reduce our water wastage and will use water efficiently. First of all, second thing is that how to promote rainwater harvesting in a household level and in decentralized manner. So especially we are discussing how to manage water resources in decentralized manner, right? That is so that will create mass awareness. That to achieve that, we are conducting mass awareness programs. Then mission water conservation. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Agriculture and Farmers Welfare developed a national framework for natural resources management. Title Mission Water Conservation to ensure gainful utilization of funds. Better mission water conservation is by Ministry of Agriculture and Framework. Right. The framework strives to ensure synergies in Mahatma Gandhi, that is Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, Manrega, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, External Integrated Watershed Management Program (IWMP), Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Watershed Development Component, Command Area Development, Water Management, given the common objectives. So all these schemes of government, that is Manrega, Sinchai Yojana, and other schemes, they are all the schemes will cooperate with each other to ensure to further conservation of water. Then Atal Bhujal Yojana. Atal Bhujal Yojana, it is 6,000 crore schemes with World Bank funding, sustainable management of groundwater. With community participation is being taken up in the identified overexploited and water stressed area. Atal Bhujal Yojana, it is for limited to water stressed area in states of Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. So in some areas of such countries where water scarcity is expected to be high, there's a program of 6,000 crore will be launched with the help of funding from the World Bank. Next topic is internal security, that is Ahir Regiment. Ahir Regiment demand. An ongoing agitation by members of Ahir community disrupted the traffic on 6 km stretch in Delhi Gurgaon highway. The protesters have been camping near the Kherki Daulat Toll Plaza in Gurgaon since February 4, demanding Ahir Regiment in the Indian Army. Ahir Regiment in Indian Army. Right. They are demanding for Ahir Regiment. Why they are demanding for Ahir Regiment? We'll look into this matter. Ahirwal region, which includes southern Haryana districts of Rewari, Mahendragarh and Gurgaon, is associated with Rao Tullaram. Their leader is Rao Tullaram, the Ahir hero of the revolt of 1857. In the revolt of 1857 from Gurgaon, it was the Rao Tullaram. Traditionally contributed soldiers to Indian Army in large numbers. They contributed soldiers to Indian Army in large numbers. That's why they are demanding. That's why they are demanding a Ahir regiment. The region has been the loudest clamor for the creation of the Ahir regiment, even though demand has been raised in other states with the sizable Ahir populations. So they are asking for Ahir regiment. So in those regions, people are asking for Ahir regiment. Also from other states, the community was brought into national limelight after the story of bravery of Ahir troops in Haryana. In the Battle of Rejang La in 1962 is well known. The community fought battle in Battle of Rejang La in 1962 with the Chinese army and was successful. That's why they are determining, they are asking for an Ahir regiment. Most of the soldiers of C Company 13 Battalion Command Regiment perished fighting Chinese onslaught, but broke the enemy's advance in Chushul, right? So this Ahir regiment broke the advancement of Chinese army. The members of the community have long argued that Ahir deserve full-fledged infantry regiment. There is only full-fledged infantry regiment named after them, not just 2 battalions in the command regiment and fixed percentage of other regiments. So it demanded Special regiments, right? Demand got a boost during the 15th anniversary of 1961 in 2012 when the saga of Ahir heroism was recounted repeatedly and was received honor reload traction in the 60th anniversary of the anniversary year. Right, so again they again demand for Ahir regiment in the Indian Army. Position taken by political parties on the demand of Ahir regiment. Over the past decade, support come from parties across the spectrum, but especially from the ones present in the Ahir influence in Haryana, UP, Bihar, and even Maharashtra. In 2008, Indian Minister of State of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Inderjit Singh, has written to the Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman asking her to consider the demand for the Ahir regiment. The Congress MP Dipinder Huda told Rajya Sabha history of redundancy does not need to be proven to anyone. The Ahirwal region of Haryana and Rajasthan always been the forefront of the defense of the nation. Earlier in February, Shyam Singh Jadhav, BSP MP of Jaunpur, Uttar Pradesh, has raised demand from oil regiment. So various leaders are demanding a regiment for oil regiment because of their historical contribution to in 1962 and 1857. And position taken by political parties on demand of next. Earlier, Shyam Singh Jadhav, BSP MP, raised regiment Bihar. Demand has been raised periodically by Raj Lakshmi Jadhav, the daughter of Lalu Jadhav, and Raibal Devi for Ahir regiment. So, in various political parties have been demanding for Ahir regiment, right? Because of their contribution to 1957 war against British and also 1857 war against British and also 19 and also 1962 war against China. Army's response to the army had rejected the demand for any new class or caste-based regiment. New class or caste-based regiment. It says that while the older regiments have been on caste and regions like Dogra regiment, Sikh regiment, Rajput regiment, Punjab regiment will continue, but no demand of the line of regiment. Himachal regiment, Kalinga regiment, Gujarat regiment, or any of tribal regiment would be entertained. Right. So on the basis of state it is fine, but not on the basis of religion or a particular community. It said the army is doing well with the present composition and therefore there is no need to add new regiments based on the class and caste. So this is the army which has repudiated NSS proposal. It asked for it refused to entertain the new demand and it is said that there will not be any regiments on the basis of caste or class. Okay. Next, status of the Operation Green Scheme. Recently, Ministry of Food Processing Industries has informed Lokasabha about the Mission Green Scheme. Operation Green Scheme is launched by Ministry of Food Processing Industries in November 2018. What is this Green Scheme actually? Green Scheme is why it is there. In certain seasons, we see the price of onion, the price of potato, it increases to very high, right? Suppose in normal seasons it's 30 and 40, but in certain seasons it increases even more than 100. Why it shows such essential items for the prices increases, right? To address those problems, Operation Green Scheme was started in 2018. But what happened? We'll see. Quite such problems created because at a particular time demand was much higher as compared to supply was in a particular time demand of demand of this price and demand of the onions or potatoes, that is more as compared to supply, then price increases, right? And in sometimes price decreases. Why decreases? Because supply is more as compared to demand. So this scheme is to there to stabilize the prices of these food articles. To enhance the value realization of TOP farmers, reduction in post harvest losses, reduction in post harvest losses, price stabilization and producer and consumer interest, increase in the food processing capabilities, value addition. This is the objective, right? That is to reduction in the post harvest losses and a price stabilization of the production. Price stabilization for producers and consumers by proper production planning on the top clusters, introduction of dual use varieties. By proper production, that is according to the need, planning to the top clusters and introduction of dual use varieties. There is two types of crops, right? So that there will not be scarcity. Reduce of post harvest losses by creation. Reducing post harvest losses by creation of farm gate infrastructure. Development of suitable agro logistics. Creation of appropriate storage capacity linking to the consumption centers. Right. So there should be appropriate storage capacity so that the foods can be stored properly. We in India we lack various infrastructure so far as the cold storage is concerned. So we have to ensure that to address the problem of certain vegetables, we need to have some special infrastructure, that is the storage centers, appropriate storage centers. Then development of suitable agri logistics so that such losses will be reduced. Increase the food processing capacities and value addition to the increasing to the top, right? Addition to the top farmers value chain with farm linkages with production of clusters. Farm linkages with the production and clusters. What are the components? The component has two components. One is long-term strategy and value chain development projects, and short-term strategy, that is price stabilization measures and through grants, transportation, storage, subsidy. What are the long-term measures and what are the short-term measures? So for price stabilization, in certain cases, you have to take some certain measures and also you have to take some long-term measures. That is how to increase productivity in long run. In certain measures can be through grant of transportation or storage subsidy. Right? All these things can be done to reduce the prices of the goods uh, prices of the food by short-term measures. Right? Next. Since its inception, value chain development projects have been sanctioned and initiated with a total project cost of 360 crore. Total project cost of 360 crore. Grant in aid sanction 136 crore. Processing capacity 3.34 lakh metric ton. Preservation capacity of 46,380 metric ton. So value chain has developed, right? Value chain system has developed. Projects have been sanctioned and initiated the total project around 360 crores of value chain, right? To preserve the foods or the storage food so that this flexibility in the prices of onion on prices of onion, potato, tomato will not fluctuate in such manner. Then from top to total, the scope of short-term measures originally applicable to tomato, onion, potato types were expanded to 41 fruits and vegetables with relation to 2020 as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat package. Big announcement of 2021 scope for long-term strategy, that is value chain development projects. Value chain development projects. It was expanded from TOP to 22 perishable, which are 10 fruits, 11 vegetables, and 1 marine product in the stream. So it covers a wide range of products, wide range of fruits and vegetables, right? So that whose price generally varies in a certain period, in certain time of a year. So you have to reduce it by taking various measures like cold storage. Then Operation Green. Operation Green. What is this Operation Green? Kisan Rail. Kisan Rail ensures agro products reach from one corner to another corner of the country in quick time. Faster transportation benefits both the farmers and the consumers. Faster transportation. It benefits both the farmers and the consumers. Kisan Rail. So that the price of a particular good will reduce. So even if there is loss because of some food processing, that will be compensated. Right. So Kisan Rail are there. Then Krishi Udan. Krishi Udan scheme stands for converge operation greens through air freight subsidy of 50% for the anti-perishables of any year, North Eastern regions and state North Eastern and 4 Himalayan states online MIS. So this Krishi Udan stands converged to operation green, and that provides a freight safety of 50% to the farmers of a particular state. That is Krishi Udan. Which of the following statements is are correct with regards to Minamata Convention? Minamata Convention is related to mercury poisoning. Right? Remember, it's a UN global treaty to protect human health and environment from the adverse effect of mercury. Yes, it is related to mercury poisoning. So, to counter the mercury poisoning, helped started in Minamata, the Minamata area of Japan. This is Minamata mercury. This convention. So, this is so. Once again, we will see Minamata Convention. It is because of mercury poisoning. It's a UN global treaty. That is true. Yes. It is started by UN Global Treaty. That is for to adverse effects of mercury. That is to counter mercury poisoning. So this is true. And with blue wave syndrome was a major disease caused by mercury contamination. No, this is because of nitrate contamination. Blue wave syndrome occurs. The Minamata Convention mercury put a ban on new mercury mines. Yes, this is right. The ban on new mercury mines. So 1 and 3 options are right. X dust leak. X dust leak. It is actual question. This is the size is between India and Uzbekistan. East X dust leak, that is between India and Uzbekistan. Then Jal Jeevan Mission. With reference to Jal Jeevan Mission, consider the following statements. It will provide self-drinking water to each household of rural India. Yes, self-drinking water to each households by 2024. Jal Jeevan Mission. We have already discussed. The mission will follow a community approach. Yes, it will cooperate with the community, right? Local population and political participation. Sorry, private participation is also encouraged to make it successful, right? That is Jal Jeevan Mission. This will address water scarcity, it will address various diseases, and that will lead us to modernization, right? Our sanitation develop, around 40% of our diseases get reduced. So government is highly promoting this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Then with reference to Operation Green scheme, we have discussed Operation Green. right? That is related to stabilizing the price of potato, tomato, and onion, right? It is launched by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers for 2018 years in 2018. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers, they have started Operation Green Scheme. Remember, sorry, wait. We have discussed here Ministry of Green Scheme. Yes. So, which of the statements are correct so far as yes, so far as Operation Green Scheme is concerned, right? It is launched by Ministry of Agriculture. No, it is managed by Food Processing. Ministry of Food Processing has launched Ministry as Operation Green Scheme, right? It seeks to stabilize the supply of tomato, onion, and potato crops. So this is correct answer, right? So this is answer is stabilized only. No. This is not only. There are many other crops as well. So this only statement, this because of this word only, the whole statement will become incorrect. So neither 1 and 2. There are various products for which this Operation Green Scheme is launched. With reference to Jal Jeevan Mission, consider following statements. Jal Jeevan Mission, it is a central government scheme, centrally sponsored scheme. We will say this will provide safe drinking water to each household in India, in rural India by 2024. The targets of by 2024 by 2024 the targets of Jal Jeevan Mission will be achieved. Right, by 2024 the targets of Jal Jeevan Mission will be achieved. The mission follows a it approaches all the stakeholders, the communities and private. It also advocates for private participation for implementation, for example, for creating of special purpose vehicle, all these things. So both 1 and 2 options are right. So far as Jal Jeevan Mission is concerned, it follows community approach and also it will provide safe drinking water to rural household by 2024. Consider following statements regarding the Ohir Regiment. Ohir Regiment, it is in the Haryana. They have significant contribution in 1962 war. Also, they have significant contribution in 1857 World War. That's why they are demanding the Ohir Regiment in Indian Army, and Indian Army has refused. Why it refused? It says that it will not establish another regiment on the basis of caste or community. Right. So what are the options? Let's see. It will Ohirwal region includes southern Haryana district of Rewari, Mohendragarh and Gurgaon. Yes, Rewari, Mohendragarh and Gurgaon in the southern Haryana. This Ohir regiment, Ohir people are living there and they are demanding for Ohir regiment. Because of that, they have blocked the Haryana Delhi highway. Right? They have made a strike to do that, but Indian Army refused. The community was brought into national limelight after the story of bravery of Oir troops of Haryana in the Battle of Rezangla. Remember, this is very important. Battle of Rezangla in 1962, in which Ohir soldiers have fought a lot and they become lifeline. Okay, which of the statements are correct? Both 1 and 2 are correct so far as Ohir regiment is concerned. They also are for 1987 war against British. So here the lectures end. Like this video, share this video and subscribe to Vanik-Ias. Thank you.